I get called so many names. I genuinely don't care.
Poor Erica Kirk. All right, so we're going to read some of these comments up under this Erica Kirk video in a second, but I want to start off by saying there's a possibility that Erica Kirk has been sabotaged and instructed to operate like this in two different ways or potential ways. One, Andrew Kolvet. See, one person that I never really paid attention to a lot is Andrew Kolvet. And I was watching Baron Coleman's show last night. Shout out to Baron Coleman. He brought up Andrew Kolvet. See, I spent a lot of time talking about Tyler Boyer, but I never thought about Andrew Kolvet. And last night, shout out to Baron Coleman, he broke down the background of how Andrew Kolvet met Charlie Kirk. And it hit me. Andrew Kolvet is the one possibly sabotaging Erica Kirk. Why? Because he is the clean-cut guy. He is the articulate person. In his mind, he's probably like, why in the world should Erica Kirk be over Turning Point USA? I'm the one that infiltrated this company. It should be me. But for whatever reason, Erica Kirk decided, or somebody chose her to be the leader. And I think Andrew Kolvet is in the background jealous that she is the CEO and not him. And because of that, he's instructing her to do all this crazy lunatic stuff. But with all that being said, Erica Kirk, I'm assuming, has enough, well, I'm not going to say has enough common sense, because if she had common sense, she wouldn't be doing all these things. But I don't think an adult human is just going to allow somebody to instruct them to do this.
I get called so many names. I genuinely don't care.
Like, I can't imagine somebody being instructed to act like this. But let's say Andrew Kolvet, who is the PR agent of Turning Point USA, what if Andrew Kolvet is like, yeah, look mean on the camera, do this, do that. Yeah, they're loving you. There's a possibility that Erica Kirk may be that dumb to actually listen to somebody, and she's doing this because somebody told her to do it. What's up, Yoselin? But I can't believe that. But let's think about Andrew Kolvet being behind all of these antics and the words, because we all know, even in that interview that, well, not the interview, the response that Erica Kirk had, it wasn't her words. Most likely Blake Neff, she was reading off of a teleprompter from what Blake Neff told her. So it's a possibility that Blake Neff, along with Andrew Kolvet, is literally sabotaging Erica Kirk. But let's get into it. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. And make sure to hit the thumbs up button as you come in. Erica Kirk not caring. Crazy. Because every time Erica Kirk posts something, it's always important to read the comments, because the comments are absolutely hilarious under every one of these videos that Erica Kirk posts. Well, you know, when she's on the Charlie Kirk show. All right, y'all read these. Hold on, let me make the screen a little bigger. because these emojis and these like memes are absolutely hilarious. But this is what people are saying about Erica Kirk. And the first thing I have to say is, what is wrong with this woman for her to keep crashing out like this? Because the first thing I'm going to say
Kiss
is
the bloody dead body of the person.
something's wrong with her. So let's do this. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Erica Kirk is mentally ill. Put a 2 in the chat if you think there's something else going on. So put a 1 in the chat if you think Erica Kirk is mentally ill. Put a 2 in the chat if you think something else is going on other than her just being mentally ill. But let me know, and let's keep going. Even this right here, this might not sound bad, but it sounds bad. She said, I had to kiss the body of my dead. Even the wording sounds like she's a psychopath.
When you kiss the bloody dead body of the person that you love.
That right there sounds strange. Why would you say when you kiss the bloody dead body of somebody you love? We've all, I'm not going to say we all, but a lot of us have lost somebody. I'm not going to say, because my mom passed, I'm not going to sit here and say on stage, I kissed my mother's dead body or bloody. Like, who says weird stuff like that? Like, she's nuts. But check this out.
We said our prayer and we asked the Lord to protect us. To the students,
unable to understand, really.
If I told you that Erica Kirk was under the influence of some kind of brainwashing or menticide or some type of MK like hypnosis or mind control or drug application, if I told you she was in some kind of a trance, something almost zombified, what would you say? What would you truly say? You'd say, I knew it. Because she looks like it. When Charles Manson came out and gave you that look, and people said he's crazy. Why? Because of his eyes. Do you think through the course of American, not American, human, American as well, human evolution, when people look like this, from Dracula, from horror movies, from our anecdotal understanding of what somebody under the influence of something, whether it's mental illness or hypnotic, whatever, if there was nothing to it, if that look meant nothing, why do you think it's been a part of our culture since day one? Because, my friend, in the shadowed, dark corridors of American power, where politics and mind control collide with tragedy and conspiracy, where people are more susceptible, where some people who happen to have connections with organized intel.
And somebody in the chat, and I understand, somebody said she's dealing with a lot of pressure. Well, if you think she's dealing with a lot of pressure, or if anybody thinks that Erica Kirk is dealing with a lot of pressure, if Erica Kirk herself thinks she's dealing with a lot of pressure, what would a suggestion be to alleviate that pressure? Tell me in the chat. What would be an easy way to alleviate yourself of said pressure if Erica Kirk is dealing with immense pressure? What would y'all say if I was interviewing Erica Kirk right here and y'all were in the chat and she was sitting there breathing all hard like a zombie, talking about, oh, it's so much pressure on me, and she's just looking like this. Like, imagine if I interviewed Erica Kirk right here, right? And we're sitting not next to each other, but you know, she's right here next to me. And I'm like, so Erica Kirk, what is going on in your life right now? How are you dealing with the pressure? And she's literally sitting there doing this. Erica. Hello. Erica. Snap out of it.
I think at this.
So what would you say to her if you were in a chat? What would you say to her in the chat? I'm assuming a lot of you would say, go home. You don't have to do this. Nobody made you take this job as Turning Point USA CEO. Go home. You have two alleged, because I don't think she has any kids. Go your ass home. So what would you say? Everybody in the chat right now say, go home, Erica. Everybody in the chat say, go home, Erica. Go home, Erica. Go home, Erica. Go home, Erica. Hopefully somebody would make this into a clip. Go home, Erica. Go home, Erica. Everybody in the chat say, go home, Erica. But guess what? Let's listen to why she may not be able to go home. Check this out. Check out what James Lee said. So, because this is a thought.
I think at this point we can pretty much all agree that Erica Kirk is insane. But the question is, why is she doing this? Sam Tripoli, who I just interviewed, I think has a very interesting theory. Take a listen.
Erica Kirk, like everyone's pounding on Erica Kirk right now. And I would say have a tiny bit of sympathy, not because of the widow thing, but because she's most likely doesn't have a say in what she's doing. She was very early on in her life. Her parents were both CIA. They have no problems with feeding their kids into the meat grinder. And she's probably an MK Ultra sex kitten. It's like
so she's not even aware of what she's doing.
She has no say in what she's doing. They tell her what to do. They send her where she has to go. She has her job.
Well, why don't they just hide her in the back? Like, why is she out there being insane?
It goes back to that thing. The final thing I was going to tell you is like there's the role of the widow in Kabbalah. Like she's playing a role right now. It's like Courtney Love, if you ask me, had something to do with Kurt Cobain's death.
Real quick. I'm running on, I have 2 YouTube channels, right? Somebody said, why is the video like on a mobile phone? Because one of my channels is like on a mobile phone and one of my channels is like, horizontal or whatever. So to the people that are watching on mobile, and if you would like to see the bigger version, come over to my other YouTube channel, which is Mr. Let Go. So some of y'all are watching on Mr. Let Go 2.0, and some of y'all are watching on Mr. Let Go. So one is MRLETGO 2.0, and the other one is MRLETGO without 2.0. So if you would like to watch the video in, what is this? Whatever this mode is, instead of the this mode, go over to that channel and look up and follow me on both. So, because somebody was like, why is the video like this? Well, the video is like this on my other channel. So I'm streaming from both channels, just so y'all know. Okay, so let's get into what Baron Coleman said, because now we're going to talk about Andrew Kolvet and how and why all of this might be because of Andrew Kolvet. Erica Kirk acting the way she is. Exactly.
That they both went to work for Mark Burnett. They both went to work.
All right. So shout out to Baron Coleman, and let's see what he has to say. Now, he's going to be mentioning some names. We'll deal with the names in a minute. So Mark Burnett, we'll talk about those people in a second, but just listen. And we're talking about Erica Kirk and, of course, Andrew Kolvet and how he got his hands on Turning Point USA.
We hadn't done the deep dive on Andrew Kolvet. We haven't seen that they both went to work for Mark Burnett, him and Johnny Moore. They both went to work for Kairos. Kairos is nothing more than an Israeli front organization. That much is obvious. If you look at all they do, that's all they do. That's all they talk about. That's all they care about. And that is the context, ladies and gentlemen. That is the context. Andrew Kolvet pursues Charlie Kirk. I remind you, this is, again, we talked about this yesterday, but this is back from the New York Times podcast that Andrew Kolvet did with Ross Douthat. And here is, now that you have the context, I want you to listen to this again. Now that you have the context of who Johnny Moore is, who Andrew Kolvet is, what is their only primary concern? Now that you know that, I want you to now reread this with me and tell me if the approach to Charlie Kirk doesn't make more sense now. Andrew Kolvet, yeah, I'll go back a step. I was actually living and working in Hollywood. That was the Mark Burnett era. I had a job working with Mark Burnett.
Okay, some of y'all may say, who the hell is Mark Burnett? Just give it a second. He's going to explain who Mark Burnett is.
Of The Voice, Celebrity Apprentice, Survivor, and Shark Tank. Oh.
Boom, right there. The Voice, Celebrity Apprentice, Shark Tank, Survivor. So Mark Burnett is behind the creation of all those shows. So I'll back it up a little bit.
Andrew Kolvet, yeah, I'll go back a step. I was actually living and working in Hollywood. That was the Mark Burnett era. I had a job working with Mark Burnett of The Voice, Celebrity Apprentice, Survivor, and Shark Tank. Oh, just a Hollywood guy, man. He was doing these projects, and then at some point he got into faith-based content. I was thrown into the deep end. One day we would be at Jimmy Kimmel, we'd be at a nightly show, we would go to CNN, we'd go to Fox, then we'd be to church. Oh, just doing the Hollywood thing, broskies. Just doing the Hollywood thing.
So all these guys were Hollywood people.
Mark's chief of staff at the time, a guy named Johnny Moore. Now we know who he is. We know what kind of guy he is. We know his past. We know his childhood. We know his connection to Jerry Falwell Sr.
Jerry Falwell Sr. I talked about Jerry Falwell Sr. We'll get into that also.
We know how he rose through the ranks of Liberty University to be personally recruited for some weird reason out of Liberty University, tiny little nothing college, Liberty University, by Mark Burnett of The Survivor, The Voice, The Shark Tank. Mark's chief of staff at the time was a guy named Johnny Moore. Now we have context. We know who Johnny Moore is now. Now this interview starts to have color. It starts to have life. Johnny Moore started a PR company. He asked me to start it with him. Oh, seems so innocent the first time I heard it. Seems so innocent the first time I heard him say that. I was like, oh, okay. Guy named Johnny Moore wants you to start a PR company. Big deal. I wanted to write screenplays, actually. Doing the LA thing. My head was still very much in that space. I wanted to make content.
He wanted to make content. So if you look at what is being said right here, I don't think there's no way in this world that Andrew Kolvet will give up those dreams to work in Hollywood to write screenplays in order to become the PR agent of Turning Point USA. No, I think he's seen what was going on and he actually wanted to become CEO of Turning Point USA, take control of Turning Point USA. Now, to a certain degree, he has that. But I think the reason why Erica Kirk is just wigging out the way she is because Andrew Kolvet is trying to put her in a position where she can keep embarrassing herself so he can take over. And for him to get the limelight, because these Hollywood people, they like the limelight. They don't want to be behind the scenes. They want to be out in front. But unbeknownst to him, Erica Kirk likes the limelight more than he does. And she doesn't want to give up the limelight because she is an attention whore, just like he is an attention whore. And I might be wrong with all of this, but y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments.
So I kind of refused and refused. Well, he didn't refuse long because he started the company in July and you went to work for him in August. So you only refused for like 30 days. And then he said, why don't you just work a couple of days a week? Help me get this thing off the ground and then you can do your own thing. Okay, but what is it Andrew is bringing to this operation? We know who Johnny Moore is. We know what his interest is. We know his major concern is military intervention on behalf of our greatest ally. I mean, that's just obvious. You just look at his life, and that's all you see. So why did he think Andrew was such a perfect fit?
And just so you know, we're adding another aspect to this now. Of course, the IHOPian aspect, the taking over of other countries aspect. We all know that propaganda and mind altering starts on TV shows, cartoons. So the way to get the public to either accept something, go against something, or to be afraid of something, they put it on the news. They put it in a movie, right? So keep that in mind. Andrew Kolvet is working with creators, movie producers, people who have the ability to set narratives in TV shows or movies. All right. So I just want to make sure y'all are on point with that.
One point, Charlie came across the path of Johnny. What passive language Andrew uses there? Andrew's a wordsmith. He's not an idiot. He knows what he's saying. Charlie came across the path of Johnny in Southern Florida at some event. That makes it sound like Charlie just stumbled into the room, and wouldn't you know it, Johnny just happened to be there. Almost like the Bill Montgomery origin story. Oh, Bill, just 72-year-old guy hanging out on a college campus. I mean, who among us, right? Who at 72 doesn't go to political events on college campuses?
All right, so right there, I just want to make sure y'all understand this. He just brought in another aspect, which is let me see if I got the video of Bill Montgomery. And do I need to elaborate on who Bill Montgomery is? So put a 1 in the chat if you know who Bill Montgomery is, because if you don't, I'll let you know, because I don't want to confuse anybody. So if you know who Bill Montgomery is, put a 1 in the chat. And if not, I'll show y'all the video on who Bill Montgomery is. If I don't get a lot of ones, I'm gonna play the video about Bill Montgomery, because you might not know.
It's just a dime a dozen, right? And if you look at the video from that day, there's only like 20 people there. But Bill Montgomery's one of them.
Okay, just say I don't know who he is. Say I don't know or I know. That'll help me out. Say I don't know or I do know.
Charlie just came across the path of Johnny, Southern Florida at some event, wouldn't you know? And Johnny, he said, hey, you should look at this guy. Look into this guy. He's young, but I think he's got a lot of energy. You should contact him. Here's his email. Well, who was Charlie Kirk at the time? Well, we know. We know who he was at the time. He was running an organization that was primarily economic in nature. All they did, they went around the college campuses and they talked to people about economic liberty. It was like the Tea Party for college kids. And you've got Charlie Kirk, who goes out there and he campaigns for Donald Trump, and he shows up at Donald Trump events, and he convinces a whole lot of college kids to go out and vote for Donald Trump. He earns his stripes. He shows his medal. He shows he has some talent. And Johnny's looking at this guy, Charlie, and he says he's got a lot of energy, got a lot of talent. We've got to intervene. We can't risk this guy getting on the wrong side of our only issue we care about.
Right.
You should look into him. Here's his email. So what does Andrew do? Well, he reaches out. So I reached out to him. I said, hey, I'd love to talk, maybe working with you. He basically ghosted for a while. Okay, well, that really throws a wrench in the plan. You can't take over his organization, direct it to become a pro-Zionist all the time organization if he won't talk to you. We got to have a backup plan here. That's not going to work. Oh, wouldn't you know it? Bad luck befell Charlie. All of a sudden, there was some bad news story where all the media conspired to destroy TPUSA. All of a sudden, there was some bad news story where all the media conspired to destroy TPUSA.
So right here, remember, Andrew Kolvet is a PR agent. He just happens to be working with creators, you know, people who build shows or who work in Hollywood. But he himself is a PR agent. So watch this.
And Charlie got really desperate. This whole thing blew up on him. And that's when we finally connected. Wow, what fortune for me, Andrew Kolvet, and Johnny Moore, that Charlie finally faced something so awful that he couldn't handle it on his own, and he had to bring me in.
He needed a PR agent. Yep.
I got to work with him via the agency for about a year, and then he basically said, hey, I like you. I'll hire you. I'll be your first client. Also, I want to start a podcast, and I want you to help me do that. This is the context in which Johnny Moore and Andrew Kolvet pursue Charlie Kirk. This is the context. All greatest ally all the time. All foreign intervention on behalf of our greatest ally, American foreign intervention. All manipulation, lies, deceit, sob stories. Oh, give money to all this, Franklin Graham, give money to me. It's all a lie. It was not innocent. It was a capture mission. They sought out Charlie Kirk and captured him. He had an influential conservative organization that was gaining ground and momentum with young people. It was 2017. Charlie was getting stronger. He was getting more influential. And here's the key. He had to be controlled or destroyed.
Yep.
And that's what the scandal with that Crystal girl was about. That's what the racist text messages was about.
That
Andrew
part I
Kolvet
don't
was the lifeline.
understand.
You want out of this? You got to join the team.
So that part right there, I don't understand. So I'm going to get into Bill Montgomery, but Barron says something about some racist text with a girl named Crystal. I don't know anything about that, but a lot of you said you didn't know who Bill Montgomery is. Okay, so here is Bill Montgomery. Well, Bill Montgomery is the actual person that gave Charlie Kirk $4.7 million in order to start Turning Point USA. So Charlie Kirk started off just going to colleges, and Crystal was a witch. So y'all know who this Crystal person is? Let me know in the chat who this Crystal person is that got caught up in a scandal with Charlie Kirk and some racist texts. Because I looked it up. I couldn't even find anything. Maybe it got, like erased or whatever, but I don't know. But all right, so Bill Montgomery is a 17-year-old man that used to come to college campuses and watch Charlie Kirk speak. And apparently he had ties to IHOP, which is the blue and white country that we don't necessarily talk about. So what happened was he would come on the college campuses and just stand in the crowd and watch Charlie do his thing. And he pulled Charlie Kirk to the side and he just said, hey, how about we turn this into a business? And at that particular point, Charlie Kirk was just a kid. He don't know what's going on. So he's like, sure. And he told Charlie Kirk, don't go to college, because he was out of college. Let's start this business instead. And he said, let's do it. And all of a sudden, hold on, I found it. Here's a video right here. I found the video. Hold on one second, y'all. I found the video. Because the video illustrates a lot more than I can actually speak on. All right, here it is right here. Here is everything right here.
You think the point of arresting
So forget about his Diddy part.
Diddy was to shut down inquiry into what Diddy was doing.
Get the data, right? I think they did it to get all the data away from Diddy because he was being sued in civil court.
And IHOP, when I say IHOP, I mean the company that, the country that starts with an I don't say their names, all right, is a blue and white. You know what? We'll deal with that in a minute. Is a country that has taken over America, the United States, that even if you talk about them, your page or your channel will get taken down. All right. So I'm not going to say the name I'm not going to say the name.
So they arrest Diddy. What'd they just convict him of? Nothing.
Well, that's clearly the point of the first Jeffrey Epstein arrest.
Wiener's laptop had kill switches in it. It was filled with crap that wasn't supposed to be there. We never get to see it. Supposedly 9 cops watched the videos on Wiener's laptop. They had to keep leaving the...
There we go. This right here is IHOP, okay? We say IHOP over here. So this is it right here. I'm not saying it.
Because they couldn't stand what they were seeing, and all 9 are now dead. And there's names and faces and deadness, right? They're real people. Now you can say, well, maybe they died for other reasons. I go, but it's still 9 cops. You know, it's like the 5 cops who died after January 6th, right? 4 of them were suicides. According to AI, there were about 80 cops really in the thick of things. 4 of them died from suicide.
Okay. So now listen to this. I put two things together because I was talking about Diddy, but this is the video right here. So everybody watch this. This is the video right here.
Famous really have a big problem. I'm one of the only people who managed to get globally famous and renowned without having a gatekeeper. If you're on a basketball team, if you say anything you're not supposed to say, you're off the team. If you're an actress and you say something you're not supposed to say, the producers won't hire you anymore. Record labels, YouTube, there's always someone who will shut you down if you start speaking in a way you're not supposed to speak. And
now listen to what he says right here. There's always some entity that's going to shut you down. Or either somebody's going to visit you, like what happened with Charlie Kirk, Bill Montgomery, and he will become your handler. So listen to this.
the way they avoid this from happening is the same thing they tried to do to me. I got offered $55 million to sign a contract, and that contract was a sponsorship contract. But to avoid brand damage, I had to shut up about certain issues and change my opinions on certain things. And I declined the money. And soon after that, I was arrested. So what they try and do is give you a gatekeeper if you get famous without one, but primarily people only get famous because of their gatekeeper. All of these famous people aren't even famous. They cannot allow you to be influential if they don't control you. That's what Epstein's Island was about.
Real quick, I want everybody that is watching on my other channel to click this link. If you're already on my Mr. Let Go channel, you're already here. But everybody else, click this link that I'm about to drop in the chat.
That's what my criminal cases are about. That's what all of this is about, because the entire world is a battle for influence. And if you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. If you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. If you're influential, they need to get you under somebody.
When Charlie is 18 years old, he speaks at a college. He just seems like any other young American conservative.
So when you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. When you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. So this is how Charlie Kirk started. Charlie Kirk was under somebody. So check this out.
They need to get you under somebody. If you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. If you're influential, they need to get you under somebody.
When Charlie is 18 years old, he speaks at a college. He just seems like any other young American conservative. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. Bill Montgomery sees that Charlie gets attention. While other conservative speakers are boring, young people listen to Charlie Kirk. A month later, in September 2012, he and the 18-year-old launched Turning Point USA.
What Turning Point USA stands for, what we're trying to do is we're going into the high schools and the colleges to challenge these textbooks that publish flat out falsehoods and fallacies.
It's a nonprofit organization established to promote conservative values, specifically among young Americans through high school and college campuses.
I'm only 19 years old. I'm fighting this fight every single day. I get through to college campuses, high schools. I debate professors. I debate socialists.
It's not an immediate success, but Turning Point steadily grows into something larger than Charlie.
We'll probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data. Probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data.
So right there, he recruits 5,000 or more students and collect their data. That is who Charlie Kirk was back when he was 18 years old. And the most important part to this is the reason why he came up under a handler, because they started seeing that, wait, you do what? You recruit 5,000 or more students and collect their data? We can sell their data to IHOP. And that's when Bill Montgomery came in and offered Charlie Kirk $4.7 million. And there's a reason why I'm bringing this up.
I'm only 19 years old. I'm fighting this fight every single day.
And everybody watching, click the link that I just dropped in the chat. Everybody watching, click the link that I just dropped in the chat. Is going to bring you to my other channel. Some people are on one channel and some people are on the other channel. So click the link that is pinned in the video, in the chat, and click the link. Everybody click the link so you can come over to my other channel. Click the link so you come over to my other channel.
Go to college campuses, high schools. I debate professors. I debate socialists.
It's not an immediate success, but Turning Point steadily grows into something larger than Charlie.
We'll probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data. Probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data. We'll probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data, collect their data, collect their data. It's a high energy conference for us. It's a way to reward our best members that have been.
They organize speeches with ever bigger conservative American thinkers. The young Charlie Kirk quickly becomes a fixture of the American political conservative landscape.
I started an organization, Turning Point USA, 2.5 years ago, around two key values: free markets and limited government.
In 2016, he speaks at the Republican National Convention.
Okay, I see the link is not clickable. I don't know why. So, all right, give me a second.
When Trump secures the Republican nomination, he and Turning Point embrace the MAGA movement. Charlie Kirk gets a direct line to the president. At the same time, he begins using modern media outlets as a way to spread his political message. But they're also a means for generating content that gets attention. He gets millions of views, in large part fueled by debates on college campuses. In 2018 comes Campus Clash, a college tour with Candace Owens. In 2024, the You're Being Brainwashed Tour, a college tour with former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. On September 10th, 2025, Kirk initiates the American Comeback Tour, a series of events for college students across the United States. The format includes his classic Prove Me Wrong table sessions, where he invites attendees to debate his political and cultural viewpoints in a public setting.
The Democrats know he had almost $500 million war chest, taking over the colleges, getting all the undecided, even some of the leftists, to vote and get engaged and wake up like dominoes. The brainwashing was falling. But more importantly, he was getting young conservatives to get mobilized and start getting others to vote, and they were getting energized. If you were going to piggyback, it would be the Democrats or one of their groups, a Soros group.
So yesterday, as I said.
So that right there is an example of who the guy is, Bill Montgomery. All right, so let's get back to what was said over here.
Gaining ground and momentum with. It was 2017.
So this is exactly what Barron is talking about right here. Bill Montgomery got with Charlie Kirk when Charlie Kirk was 17 and 18. Listen.
It was not innocent. It was a capture mission. They sought out Charlie Kirk and captured him. He had an influential conservative organization that was gaining ground and momentum with young people. It was 2017. Charlie was getting stronger. He was getting more influential. And here's the key. He had to be controlled or destroyed.
Yep.
And that's what the scandal with that Crystal girl was about. That's what the racist text messages was about. Andrew Kolvet was the lifeline. You want out of this? You got to join the team. Otherwise, we're going to destroy you. We'll make you, Charlie Kirk, the racist guy. Or you can hire me. You can bring me in, smooth it out. Get the media off your back. We'll turn you into an international sensation.
Somebody said the likes are low, so y'all already know what I got to do.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Then the lights will go up. You just ordered my book. Thank you, Yoselin.
Turn you into a rock star. Your call. Are there any other ideas of who Franklin Graham is and why Johnny Moore is so excited? When asked about whether Trump would support Israel's annexation of the West Bank, remember we talked about that last night, the $100 million donation that Miriam Adelson allegedly gave Donald Trump, allegedly to allow for the annexation of the West Bank.
So right here, and I don't want to lose anybody in the woods in this, right here, this is another reason why they got with Charlie Kirk. This is the reason why they got with Charlie Kirk. Remember, all these people, including Andrew Kolvet, are IHOPians. So listen to this again.
Miriam Adelson allegedly gave Donald Trump, allegedly to allow for Israel's annexation of the West Bank. Remember we talked about that last night, the $100 million donation that Miriam Adelson allegedly gave Donald Trump, allegedly to allow for the annexation of the West Bank.
So right here, let me give y'all an understanding of what that actually means, because some people may not understand what that is. Give me a second. Where's the video? I just want to make sure everybody gets an understanding of what's going on. Here it is right here.
This was predicted on video by a Russian politician as early as
person that actually is getting person that act. So listen to this. This is Adelson. This is the list of people that wanted to take over Iran.
Top 20 donors.
Miriam. So this is the person that
This is a list of Trump's top 20 donors.
Miriam Edelson. And Miriam Edelson is the main person that we're paying attention to right here. She's the person that actually is getting Trump to go to war with Iran. And this is who Barron is talking about. And this is who was working or is working behind not Tyler Boyer, but Andrew Kolvet. Miriam Edelson is the main person on. And IHOPian is this dude here. This dude here.
China, Mongolia.
So this is who IHOP is, okay? For everybody, this is who IHOP is. I'm not saying the name of the country, but this is who IHOP is.
India, China, Mongolia, Kazakhstan, all of it. Azerbaijan, Muslim countries. So we're coloring the world blue. So we're coloring the world blue. So we're coloring the world blue. You know what? The numbers, you remember people talked about Israel's isolation? Remember that? Israel's isolation? Pretty soon, the countries that don't have relations with us, they're going to be isolated.
Okay, so that is who IHOP is. I don't say their name, but he said the name. I don't say their name. All right, so just make sure y'all get an understanding of that. All right, so let's keep going. So Miriam Edelson is the name that Barron brought up. So this is Miriam Edelson right here, the main person that we're paying attention to right here. She's the person that actually is getting Trump to go to war with Iran. Miriam Edelson is the main person on this list. Trump's top 20 donors that gave him $635 million.
Look at this as a map of every interest we just talked about. For example, number 1, Timothy Mellon, old banking and transportation dynasty, financial industrial complex. Number 2, Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink, XAI. His companies hold billions and billions in Pentagon contracts, and his AI company just entered a program to build autonomous drone swarms for the military. That's the technological industrial complex and the military industrial complex in one person. There's number 3, Miriam Adelson. She has spent decades as the single biggest pro-Israel donor in American politics.
Right there. She is the primary person. And somebody says also blackmail, 1000%. Blackmail is a part of this also with the Epstein files. Yes. Everybody thinks we're going to war with Iran because of the Epstein files. Let's go to war, then you can't impeach me, then you can't do this, and then it takes attention off the Epstein files. No, this is way bigger than the Epstein files. This is all financial. This is all leverage. This is about leveraging the United States against China. Probably 25% of this is about the Epstein files, y'all. Nobody cares about the damn Epstein files, because guess what? Y'all can't do shit about it anyway. Nobody cares about the Epstein files. And I mean, you know, them, the higher ups, they don't give a shit.
She's been pushing for regime change in Iran. That's $105 million towards the policy we just watched happen. She's been pushing for regime change in Iran. That's $105 million towards the policy we just watched happen. Right. Number 7, Ike Perlmutter, former chairman of Marvel, served on Trump's Informal Defense Advisory Council. It's number 9, Robert Bigelow, Bigelow Aerospace, Defense and Space. Right. These are military industrial complex adjacent donors. It's number 10, Kelsey Warren, runs Energy Transfer Partners, one of the biggest oil and gas pipeline companies in the country.
So this gives you an understanding of how or why they wanted to take over Turning Point USA. Because Miriam Edelson and the rest of these people needed Donald Trump to become president. And how, you know, everybody has a presidential campaign, right? They have to do different things in order to get everybody to want to vote for them. Well, Miriam Edelson and the rest of these people on this list had something to do with Andrew Kolvet and working with Charlie Kirk in order to get Charlie Kirk and what he has built with Turning Point USA to go to schools and colleges to get young people to vote for Donald Trump in order for them to get, Miriam Ellison and all these other people to get Donald Trump to go to war with Iran.
Why Johnny Moore is so excited. When asked about whether Trump would support Israel's annexation of the West Bank, remember we talked about that last night, the $100 million donation that Miriam Adelson allegedly gave Donald Trump, allegedly to allow for the annexation of the West Bank. When asked about whether Trump would support Israel's annexation of the West Bank, Franklin Graham said, it's hard to say which policies will be prioritized if Trump is reelected. However, he noted that after surviving 2 assassination attempts, Trump might be weighing decisions differently, adding, I hope for the best. He hopes for the best. In other words, I hope Donald Trump does permit the annexation of the West Bank.
So remember when Donald Trump's life got threatened? Well, somebody tried to shoot Donald Trump probably like 3 times now. This is where the actual threat came in. He was threatened, and next thing you know, they came back and said, hey, are you willing to consider what I asked you earlier? And then Donald Trump said, okay. So it's a possibility that, and I'm not a Donald Trump person. I don't give a shit, okay? I'm just saying this from an objective standpoint, okay? I am not pro-Trump. I wasn't even pro-Kamala. I didn't like neither one of them. So I'm saying this as a person that does not care about Trump. Donald Trump may have been saying, I'm not going to war with Iran. That's stupid. I got into office saying that I'm not going to go to war. But all of a sudden, people started shooting at him. And then people would come to him and say, hey, I seen that you got shot at the other day. That's unfortunate. But with all that being said, would you like to reconsider everything that we were talking about as far as going to war with Iran? Wink, wink. And at some point, Donald Trump was like, all right, so if I don't go to war with Iran, they're going to kill me. I'm not pro Donald Trump. I'm just going by what Barron is saying. All right. I'm going by what Barron is saying. So listen.
Israel's annexation of the West. You want out of this? You got to join the team. Otherwise, we're going to destroy you. We'll make you, Charlie Kirk, the racist guy. Or you can hire me. You can bring me in, smooth it out. Get the media off your back. We'll turn you into an international sensation. Turn you into a rock star. Your call. Are there any other ideas of who Franklin Graham is and why Johnny Moore is so excited? When asked about whether Trump would support Israel's annexation of the West Bank, remember we talked about that last night, the $100 million donation that Miriam Adelson allegedly gave Donald Trump.
She gave him some money, and Donald Trump turned his back and said, I'm not going to war with no damn body. I don't care how much money you give me. And next thing you know, he got shot at, and then this happened.
Allegedly to allow for the annexation of the West Bank. When asked about whether Trump would support Israel's annexation of the West Bank, Franklin Graham said, it's hard to say which policies will be prioritized if Trump is reelected. However, he noted that after surviving 2 assassination attempts, Trump might be weighing decisions differently, adding, I hope for the best. He hopes for the best. In other words, I hope Donald Trump does permit the annexation of the West Bank. And perhaps the fact that he had a couple of snips taken at him, he'll be a little more eager to cooperate this time.
Actually, well, what he's saying is, attempts on his life.
Interesting take, number one ally, Franklin Graham. But it gives the game away. All across the world. I mean, 5 years ago, that's where we're picking up.
So what I want to show y'all here is, does Andrew Kolvet look sloppy here? Yes or no in the chat. Does Andrew Kolvet look sloppy in this video?
One failed country in the world, Somalia.
5 years ago, one failed country in the world, Somalia. Now listen to the countries he names that are failed in July of 2015.
Right? Now, Somalia is a failed country. Syria is a failed country. Libya is a failed country. Iraq is a team.
Yes or no? Does Andrew Kolvet look sloppy? Yes or no in the chat. Does Andrew Kolvet look sloppy right here? Because I want to make a point.
Leading country. Afghanistan's a...
Syria, Libya, Iraq, and Afghanistan. All now failed countries 5 years later. What do they have in common? What is the common theme in all four of those countries?
The next country to go down has to be Iran.
Your government, your United States government, intervened in there on behalf, well, your.
So I want to show y'all this. So that is how Andrew Kolvet used to look. But when he got to Turning Point USA, he looks like this. Now he looks like this. So remember, the reason why we're here is to have a conversation about the theory that Andrew Kolvet is looking to sabotage Erica Kirk and make her look crazy and like a lunatic in order for him to become CEO of Turning Point USA. This is not who Andrew Kolvet used to be. He got like this. Hold on. What? Hold on. That wasn't Andrew Kolvet in the other video? That was Andrew Kolvet in the other video. Y'all making me think I'm crazy. Y'all gonna have wait. That was Andrew Kolvet. Hold on, y'all can't see the updated pic. What? Wait, why can't y'all see the picture? Y'all can see my screen, right? With a picture of Andrew Kolvet. Okay. All right, so y'all see it. Okay, some of y'all saying it. Y'all don't see it. So this is who Andrew Kolvet looks like now. But at first, Andrew Kolvet did not look like this. Somebody said it's not. Okay, this is Andrew Kolvet right here. So let's back up.
Your government,
okay,
United States government, intervened in there.
Because I could be wrong. Hold on, let me make sure. Let me take this off. Remove. Okay, so y'all are saying this isn't Andrew Kolvet right here? So y'all saying this is not Andrew Kolvet right here? I could be wrong. Let's see. So who is this guy?
I hope for the best. He hopes for the best. In other words, I hope Donald Trump does permit the annexation of the West Bank. And perhaps the fact that he had a couple of snips taken at him, he'll be a little more eager to cooperate this time. Interesting take, number one ally, Franklin Graham. But it gives the game away. All across the world. I mean, 5 years ago, that's where we're picking up.
Years ago, there was one failed country in the world, Somalia.
So y'all trying to tell me that's not Andrew Kolvet? Are y'all saying this is not Andrew Kolvet? I'm trying to find out what y'all are saying. Because I watch my chat. I listen to the chat. I like to get the opinions of the chat. So is this Andrew Kolvet? Yes or no? Because Barron thinks this is Andrew Kolvet also. So that means both of us thinks this is Andrew Kolvet. Because Barron is saying this is what Andrew Kolvet used to talk about.
Decisions differently. Adding, I hope for the best. He hopes for the best. In other words, I hope Donald Trump does permit the annexation of the West Bank. And perhaps the fact that he had a couple of snips taken at him, he'll be a little more eager to cooperate this time.
Oh, somebody said it's Mark Burnett. Let's see. Picture of Mark Burnett. No. Hey, let's just keep going because Mark Burnett looks totally different. Let's just keep going. Regardless of what, let's just finish.
Interesting take, number one ally, Franklin Graham. But it gives the game away. All across the world. I mean, 5 years ago, that's where we're picking up.
5 years ago, there was one failed country in the world, Somalia.
5 years ago, one failed country in the world, Somalia. Now,
that's Andrew Kolvet to me. If y'all want to think that's somebody else, no problem. We can agree to disagree. But that's Andrew Kolvet.
listen to the countries he names that are failed in July of 2015.
Right. Now, Somalia is a failed country. Syria is a failed country. Libya is a failed country. Iraq is a teetering country. Afghanistan's a...
Syria, Libya, Iraq, and Afghanistan. All now failed countries 5 years later. What do they have in common? What is the common theme in all four of those countries? Your government, your United.
Now y'all just making up names. Who's Johnny Miller? That's Johnny Moore? Picture of Johnny Moore. Look, I don't care. Whatever. Whatever.
United States government intervened in there.
So y'all saying it's Johnny Moore?
On behalf, well, your United States government intervened in those countries, and now they're all four failed states. Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya, Somalia, which we also intervened in. It is also a failed state. And he's using this, saying we need to do more intervention. We should be over there and fighting in other countries.
It's Charlie.
We've got to intervene on behalf of the Christians. You were duped. Every one of you. I was at the time. I was duped. But we didn't have to destroy every country we went in. There was another way to intervene that we could have stopped this nonsense.
It was Michael Jackson. Okay. All right. So whether that was him or not, that's not the point. We're missing the point. Y'all are saying I'm wrong. That's not the point. The point is, I'm just simply showing you how and why Andrew Kolvet was able to get his hands on Charlie Kirk's baby, which is Turning Point USA, and how there's a possibility that Andrew Kolvet is the puppeteer behind all of this. Well, what is it? All of this. So there's a possibility, like I said earlier, that Andrew Kolvet is the person that is getting or coercing Erica Kirk to operate like this. And this is what was said about why she's acting like this. Listen to this.
I think at this point we can pretty much all agree that Erica Kirk is insane. But the question is, why is she doing this? Sam Tripoli, who I just interviewed, I think has a very interesting theory. Take a listen.
Erica Kirk, like everyone's pounding on Erica Kirk right now. And I would say have a tiny bit of sympathy, not because of the widow thing, but because she's most likely doesn't have a say in what she's doing. She was very early on in her life. Her parents were both CIA. They have no problems with feeding their kids into the meat grinder. And she's probably an MK Ultra sex kitten. It's like
So
Courtney.
she's not even aware of what she's doing.
She has no say in what she's doing. They tell her what to do. They send her where she has to go. She has her job.
Well, why don't they just hide her in the back? Like, why is she out there being insane?
It goes back to that thing. The final thing I was going to tell you is like there's the role of the widow in Kabbalah.
So that is the thought process on that. Okay, so let's move on to this. Do you think Erica Kirk is a lunatic, or do you think there's somebody behind her trying to make her look bad? Do you think Erica Kirk is a lunatic, or do you think somebody is behind her pulling the strings, making her look like a lunatic, and she's not? Somebody said, oh, a lot of y'all are saying both. Okay. Y'all are saying both. Okay. All right. So let's get into a couple other things. First, let's talk about Mikey McCoy. The conversation about Mikey McCoy and how he reached out to Candace and gave her some intel. Let's talk about that first.
About Mikey McCoy, and I want to address that as well. There have been people saying Mikey McCoy in all of this was the good guy for getting that message out to me, that one message out to me to look into Andrew Kolvet. Now, here's what I will say about Mikey McCoy. I always knew.
All right, before we hear what she has to say, quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions.
Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
Okay, everybody, Mother's Day is 3 days away. Have you bought your Mother's Day present for your mother or for a mother that you work with or that you're close to? If you have not, this is your last time to get your Mother's Day card. Your mother-daughter card game to give as a present for Mother's Day. What are y'all waiting for? I still got card games. I thought I was going to sell out by now. So I still got card games left. We have 3 days. I will get the card games out to you tomorrow, maybe the day after tomorrow. But make sure to get your Mother's Day present for your mother, somebody else's mother, a coworker's mother, family member's mother. We all are surrounded by different mothers, whether it's your girlfriend, whether it's your homegirl, whether it's your wife, whether it's your aunt. Everybody around you are mothers. I've given this card game out to other mothers that I know about. So get your Mother's Day present, the best Mother's Day present that you can ever give to any mother, Like Mother, Like Daughter card game. Get your card game, get your card game, get your card game. All right, so let's get back into what Candace was saying.
And did not share and intentionally pushed on Mikey McCoy because I sensed right away that something was weird about all the adjectives they kept giving him. The amazing Mikey McCoy, the stupendous Mikey McCoy. Mikey was amazing. Erica said that in her first speech. Mikey was so amazing, amazing. They couldn't say his name without an adjective. And what it sensed to me was that actually Mikey wasn't sure about what they had done. They were trying to constantly reassure him that it was okay. This is how I feel. This is my opinion. Allegedly. I feel that Mikey wasn't sure. They lied when they said Mikey flew into action and did all. That's not true. It's all not true. Nope. Mikey was an absolute mess at the hospital. Mikey did not suddenly see and call and direct things. We even know that. Justin Strife told me to my face he was the one that organized all the planes. So they had come up with this narrative that Mikey suddenly, under a rush of adrenaline, was like organizing everything, and he was just a soldier. That's not true.
And I said that the other day in the last live stream I did. I talked about Mikey McCoy, and this is literally what I said. I easily said that Mikey McCoy is most likely the most innocent person in this whole situation, and he was shaken up. His lips were quivering, all this other stuff. And because he was so much of a wreck, the other people who actually knew about what was going on or possibly planned what happened tried to prop up Mikey McCoy to encourage him, to make him feel like he was not falling apart. All right.
Mikey was a mess. According to my sources, Mikey was a mess at the hospital.
Yes.
And so what I think it is that they constantly said that because they perceived him as the weak link. They perceived him as being the only one who had a soul.
Yeah.
And he should have had a soul because, you know what, Mikey, if you're watching the show, Charlie loved you.
Oh.
And whatever it was, that little flutter that made you realize how wrong what you did was, go with that. I sense you're probably in some sort of spiritual purgatory. They're telling you, offering you the world. I have, it on good notice that you're talking about real estate deals and they're telling you money. You can't take it with you when you go. Hell is real. Hell is real. And I don't know, just feel like I have it on my heart to say that to you. Maybe that's why I woke up in a state of just feeling like a message needed to be delivered. But Mikey, you don't have to keep secrets for bad people. You don't. And I think that you were the only one who had a soul.
Do y'all think Michael McCoy has a soul? I don't know. I would say no. I just think Mikey McCoy has more of a soul than everybody else at Turning Point USA. I think Mikey McCoy is trash, just like the rest of them. But I think he's a little bit less trash than the rest of them. But do y'all think Michael McCoy has a soul? Yes or no? Because this whole thing is sad, and I want to share something else. I might make a separate live stream about this, but I want to share this with y'all.
Reasons that ultimately led me to completely disassociate from Turning Point USA. Main reasons. Number one.
So this is yet another person that came out and talked about why Turning Point USA is a dumpster fire.
The reasons that ultimately led me to completely disassociate from Turning Point USA. I have three main reasons. Number one, Erika Kirk. I have three main points with Erika that I will briefly address. Number one, ASU, Arizona State University. Erika Kirk held an unregistered secret meeting that triggered a formal investigation and massive lawsuit. Someone leaked a video saying whether or not we should be, showing Erika talk about the war, saying whether or not we should be at war with Iran.
Hold on. I need to address this because this is important to my heart right here. So thank you, Crystal, for saying this. And I know, but I need to address this because this is important. Crystal, I'm talking about my card game, right? My mother like daughter card game, and Mother's Day is coming up. And for a lot of you, Mother's Day may be a hurtful time and not a joyous time. So I wanted to speak on this because I think it's important. And if not to you, but to Crystal. I said, buy my mother like daughter card game so you and your mother can get closer. For a lot of you, put a 1 in the chat if you're not close to your mom. Put a 1 in the chat if you are not close to your mom. And my heart goes out to all of you. So Crystal says, my mom and I don't like each other. She'd never get through the first question. She is a gaslighter. Well, Crystal, and for the other people that are putting 1s in the chat that don't get along with their mother, this is the reason why I actually created the mother-daughter card game. Is mainly for people who have tumultuous relationships with their mothers. Okay, so everybody that is putting a 1 in the chat, I would suggest you buy the card game, and I'm going to explain why. This card game right here and the questions in the card game is meant to put you and your mother in 2 different emotional states. 1, a loving state. 2, a state of questions to make you inquisitive about how the other person feels. So in every card game pack, there's 100 card games in this card game box. There's a mother deck and there's a daughter deck, right? So this is what you do and how you get your mother to want to play this card game with her or with you. You walk up to your mom and say, Mom, I have a fun card game that I would love to play with you. And if she turns around and says, I'm not playing no card games are for children or something like that, you just simply say, okay, here's your deck and here's my deck. And you just walk away. Her nosy ass is going to open the pack. Her nosy ass is going to read the questions. And her nosy ass is going to be inquisitive on what your deck over here is about. This is how I formulated this card game. So you just simply hand it to her, or you simply send it to her in the mail if you don't get along with her, and say, let me know if you want to play the card game. I have my card game here with me. It's 2 decks. Her nosy ass is going to open this up and start looking around like, what is this? I'm not playing this bullshit. Like, it's a setup. And then she's going to read the questions. And next thing you know, your mom is going to be like, you say you got a deck too? Yeah, I have daughter questions and you have mother questions. So what I gave you is the questions you will ask me. You give her the deck where your mother is asking you questions. See, she's not going to feel attacked if she gets an opportunity to ask you the questions. And she's going to be looking at the deck like, I get to ask my daughter questions? I thought I was going to get attacked by my daughter. See, that's what a lot of women feel. They feel like they're going to attack their mother with this card game, or the mother will feel attacked by playing this card game with their daughter. And it's just like a setup, like, why don't you love me? Or why did you leave my daddy? No, this gives your mother the opportunity to ask you questions. So she gets to attack you without attacking. I'm joking on the word. Next thing you know, she's going to be like, yes, let's play this card game because I want to ask you these questions in my deck. Next thing you know, she's going to be like, let's do it. And all of a sudden, you have your card game where you ask her questions. So you both are on an equal playing field. So nobody feels attacked. I thought about everything. And say your mother gets upset or feels a certain kind of way while playing the card game. I thought about that too. You can't really see this, but there's a list on the back of a couple of the card games. And it says, describe the emotion you're presently feeling. And it gives you and your mother an opportunity to have a conversation about how you both are feeling. So say you ask a question in this card game, right? One of the card game questions is, how did you feel when you were pregnant with me? You know, just different questions like that, right? And now you read this deck, this card, and it says, describe the emotion you're presently feeling. Angry, triggered, hurt, afraid, exposed, anxious, mom guilt, alienated, misunderstood, unimportant, insecure, judged. A lot of your moms will feel judged, right? Guarded, rejected, cornered. Your mom may feel cornered, right? Helpless. I did the best I could, right? Confused. So next thing you know, this gives your mom an opportunity to let you know how she's feeling. And what does that do for your mom? It humanizes her. It humanizes your mom. So instead of your mom appearing like this big bad wolf, you now are able to see your mom as a human being. Mom, you say you feel cornered? You say you feel frustrated? What frustrated you about that question? Mom, you say you feel misunderstood? Can we talk about it? Mom, you feel unimportant. How can I facilitate a better space for you to feel more important in my life? Next thing, just imagine you talking to your mom, and your mom actually gets off of her high horse and says to you, I feel unimportant in your life. I feel ignored. I feel alienated. Like you don't really care about your mom anymore. Wouldn't that just open up your heart? And you're like, wow, I never knew. I never knew you felt like this, Mom. Because here's the thing. Mom runs around like this angry, cantankerous person, but there's a reason why. She's hiding something. This angry, scary monster that you see is an image that she's trying to uphold. But deep down, your mother feels unimportant in everybody's life. Nobody comes to see mom anymore. Nobody seems to care about what mom thinks. Even though you and your sister and other people in the family may actually feel afraid of your mom, you think your mother's going to go off on you. Your mother's going to cuss you out. Your mother is going to belittle you. Your mother's going to make you feel like you're not enough. But she feels like she is not enough. So what your mother is essentially doing is projecting how she feels about her on you. So she tries to make you feel alienated. She tries to make you feel like you're not enough. She tries to make you feel like you're not smart. But she is the one that feels alienated. She feels unimportant. But playing this card game with the questions and with these cards about describe the emotion you're feeling, it puts her along with you in a position where you now can say, Mom, I didn't know you felt like that. And it humanizes you and also humanizes your mother. So for those of you who are scared to play this card game with their mother, first, I can understand. But second, what if I tell you that I thought of all of that in the creation of this card game and is meant for you? The women that are afraid to play this card game with their mother, the women that are afraid to have these tough conversations with their mother, I formulated these questions with you in mind. So whether you want to see your mom on Mother's Day, if your mother is still alive, get this card game, whether you see her or not, for Mother's Day. Just buy it and have it. And at some point, you'll get up the nerve to just simply, You ain't got to say, Mom, you want to play this card game with me? No, I don't want to play this card. You don't want to feel rejected, right? But go to your mother or send this to your mother, because you got two. You got the mother deck, you got a daughter deck, and you got a mother deck. Just send it to her. And next thing you know, your mother, because she's a nosy ass heifer, is going to open it and read the questions and be like, you said you got a deck too? Yeah, I got a deck too. Okay, let's play. And you both are going to end up crying and hugging each other or crying on a phone, falling back in love with each other. So this card game is specifically meant to help women fall back in love with their mothers. For women to fall back in love with their daughters. Because y'all been through so much. And y'all don't even like each other no more. That's what this card game is for. We go back to the show. But if y'all want me to ask some questions from the card deck, I'll do that. So let's do this. Would y'all like to go back to the show, or would y'all like for me to pull out some questions and have a conversation about the card game? Yes or no? Not yes or no, but say card game questions or on with the show. So I'm going to go get an open pack, and y'all let me know if y'all want me to ask questions or on with the show. So I'm going to play a commercial, and I'm going to go get an open pack, and I'll see which one y'all would like to do. So be right back.
If you had one wish involving us, what would it be?
That we got along better.
Okay.
The day that you told me, like, I was so happy for you. My mindset toward you completely changed. I think after you had her, you realized, like, how hard it is to be a mom. And, like, when you look back at things that maybe, like, made you mad at me, you realize, like, okay, well, that is hard.
I just bought this mother-daughter card game because I came to the realization that my issues with my mom are not resolved, so I decided to do something about it. Just played this card game with my mom, and we both literally broke down crying. Here's the card game right here. Buy it. Every woman needs this. You won't regret it.
Okay. So let's see where the votes are. Let's see what you guys said. Do y'all want to go on with the show or talk about the card game? Let's see. Okay. So a lot of y'all are saying the card game. Okay. All right, cool. All right, cool. So one of the questions are, how did your life become more difficult by having me, giving birth to me? Ask the question again. How did your life become more difficult by having me? I think that's a very good question to ask your mom. And as you can see, it's not, why don't you love me? It's inquisitive of her life before you. All right. Next one is, this is the questions to the mother. Do you think you showed or show favoritism towards my siblings? Good question, right? Next one is, if I was born a boy, how differently would you have parented me? Would you have been harder on me or easier on me? Do you see these are good questions, and they're not like terrible questions? They're not jarring questions. They're not triggering questions. Another question is, what have you not forgiven yourself for? And how can you forgive yourself now? Another question is, what was the most difficult part of your life and how did you deal with it? It's almost like inviting your mom on a podcast. See how all these questions are about her and not you? It's not about, why weren't you there for me? No, it's about, how did you feel or how do you feel? So playing this card game is literally like inviting your own mother on a podcast. And she's the star. All right. Another question is, we'll go back to the topic. Somebody said they want to see more questions. So we're going to do both. We're going to ask a couple more questions and then go back to the show. What was the most difficult part of your life? Okay. If you had one wish involving me and you, what would it be? Another question is, from 1 to 10, how affectionate are you? And what is in the way of you being more affectionate? You can't open a link to buy the card game. Let's see. Let me make sure the link is working. Okay, the link is working. Somebody said you can't open the link. The link is working. And if you're on my other channel, go to Mr. Let Go's channel, because I have Mr. Let Go 2.0 and Mr. Let Go, period. So if you're watching on a phone and it's kind of like, this horizontal, go to on YouTube, MRLETGO, Mr. Let Go on YouTube, and then you'll be able to see my bigger channel. Okay. All right. So from 1 to 10, how affectionate are you? What is in the way of you becoming more affectionate? I think that's a beautiful question. And another one is, I love you, Mom. Can I get a hug? I want y'all to think, if you play this card game with your mom, she can't be mean after playing this game. I love you, Mom. Can I get a hug? There's no way in this world your mom can slap you or get mad at you if you play this game with her. Another one is, will you support my work and maintaining my boundaries by saying no? Okay. Will you support my work and maintaining my boundaries by me saying no more often, by you accepting me saying no? Can you do that? In other words, can you support my work in setting boundaries? So when I say no to you, Mom, don't take offense to me saying no. It was just a lot to say on a card. Next one is, why were you choose which fits? Overbearing or non-emotional? I'll say it again. Why were you so, pick one, overbearing or non-emotional? And last question, and we'll get back to the show. If you could change anything about your personal past not involving me, what would it be? So these questions are easily going to open your mother's heart up and her mind up, and is literally like you bringing your mom on a podcast and having a conversation. So get your mother-daughter card game. Mother's Day is in 3 days. Get your card game. Get your card game. Get your card game. The link is in the chat. And if you don't see the link is also under this video. The link is at the top, pinned at the top of the comments section. And it is pinned at the top of the chat. All right. So let's get back to the show. I did that for y'all. So this is a young man talking about Turning Point USA.
She said, quote, "My husband isn't here to say whether or not we should be at war with Iran."
All right, so this is him. This is why he got mad at Erika Kirk, and why Erika Kirk he thinks is a piece of shit.
Someone leaked a video saying whether or not we should be, showing Erika talk about the war, saying whether or not we should be at war with Iran. She said, quote, "My husband isn't here to say whether or not we should be at war with Iran. I would love for him to be here right now to tell us if we should or should not. I would love it. I miss his voice more than..."
Yes, I am live. Somebody said, I don't think this is live. I am live. Hello, I'm live.
"Anything in this world," end quote. She deflected the student's question about Iran and told the chapter to focus on freedom of speech. Charlie's stance on Iran was extremely clear. Go look at the videos and do your research. Number 2, University of Arkansas. In early March, Erika Kirk visited Arkansas and was joined by Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Keep that brief interview in mind for future reference. 1 week later, the TPUSA chapter at the University of Arkansas announced that they unanimously decided to completely disassociate from Turning Point USA and would move forward as the Young American Revival at UARC. Their chapter president stated, quote, "After discussion with my executive board, we have come to the unanimous decision to dissolve our affiliation with Turning Point USA and rebrand our registered student organization under our own label, Young American Revival at the University of Arkansas. This decision was not made lightly. We discussed this for some time, weighing the pros and cons and seeking spiritual discernment. We have many grievances with Turning Point USA, which we will shortly make known to them in private, but I will share only one. We are generally put off by how Charlie Kirk has been used by TPUSA since his assassination. Statements like Charlie would have said and Charlie would have wanted have felt in many instances disingenuous and manipulative. Charlie Kirk cannot speak for himself anymore, and we do not recognize the way others have attempted to speak for him. Though the one thing I always took away from my interactions with Charlie was the importance of being your own man or woman. Sometimes that means making tough decisions just like this one." That was Dino Fantagrossi, a 5-year TPUSA member at the University of Arkansas. Dino in his chapter also stated that they believe TPUSA has lost sight of conservative values and what is truly important. Quote, We are no longer focused on our guiding North Star, that is, fighting for conservative policy, principles, and values. Instead, it feels we have become consumed with metrics, creating the next viral cultural moment. We have become reactionary when we need to be proactive, end quote. This entire situation and the boldness of that chapter is one of the main reasons I'm writing this letter today. Number 3 on Erika Kirk, the leaked Zoom and audio. On January 28th, a TPUSA internal call led by Erika Kirk on...
Somebody asked me, are the cards on Amazon? Just go to deeperdiscussions.com, 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 deeperdiscussions.shop. Go to deeperdiscussions.shop, deeperdiscussions.shop.
On September 16th, 2025 was leaked. This call took place 6 days after her husband, Charlie Kirk, was assassinated on live TV. I encourage anyone reading this to watch that Zoom call in its entirety through an unbiased lens. Pay attention to what was said, the tone, emotion, body language, and the timing of this call, 6 days after he was killed. She starts off the Zoom call joyfully laughing and smiling about the thumbs up on the call. She then, in the most emotionless and disingenuous way, says, quote, I just wanted to say first and foremost, my heart obviously is broken for you guys as much as it is for our family. You guys lost not only a boss, but someone that you looked up to, end quote. She then assures the employees that no one's job is in jeopardy because you're family. I will now highlight some quotes from that call from her. Quote, everyone grieves differently, so if someone's acting weird, don't read into that. The fact that a lot of you guys are here in office, that's what he would have wanted. We're gonna work hard because that's what he would want. I want our family to stay together. I feel so blessed and honored, end quote. On January 27th, audio from a Zoom call on September 22nd, 2025, one day after Charlie Kirk's memorial funeral in Glendale, Arizona, was leaked. I again encourage anyone reading this to listen to the call in its entirety through an unbiased lens, as I will only be briefly mentioning some of the quotes from that call. She starts off this call laughing again and smiling about the Zoom emojis. Totally joyful, unbothered tone. Here are some of the quotes. Quote, the fact that we were able to pull off an event of the century. We had thousands that were registered to vote. I think we're at like over 200,000 for merch sales. My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead. We are moving forward. Turning Point USA 2.0 with Charlie in our hearts, and that's what he would want. And then she laughs briefly after. Full steam ahead, you guys. Charlie would want us to get back to work. We have so much to do, which is exciting. Charlie in heaven is like, you guys thought you had a busy schedule, then just you wait. He's doing some awesome things with Jesus in heaven right now.
In heaven.
Since his assassination, we have 100,000 chapter requests. We have 300,000 new donors. I think we have 50,000 plus hat orders to fulfill. We have over 20,000 AmFest registrations, end quote. This is not normal. It is deeply disturbing, and I refuse to stay silent about the obvious disingenuousness spewing out of this woman's mouth. Right. I was at the funeral. I was at AmFest. I was at TPUSA headquarters and saw the thousands of vigils there. I defended this woman for months. At the time, her speech at the funeral genuinely made me emotional. I stood up for her online and in person in the midst of death threats, mockery, and satanic hatred that was thrown my way on a daily basis. No one was rooting for her more than me. I was unfollowed by so-called friends when I was posting about all of this. When it comes to Erika Kirk, no one, at least that I know of, stood firmly on her side through everything more than me. But I was raised right. I was taught from a young age to have discernment, to not blindly follow the crowd, and to not be a sheep. And this is what most Christians lack. The ability to take time to critically think and the will to stand up and fight for the truth, regardless of what people think about you. The raw, authentic emotion I have seen in so many fellow college students and others over the past 7 months doesn't even compare to the bad act Erika has put on for all of us. We are in the midst of a mass deception and a worldwide manipulation of the truth and the Christian faith when it comes to the assassination of Charlie Kirk on September 10th, 2025. My second point for leaving Turning Point USA and writing this letter. Aubrey Leitch and other fired former Turning Point USA employees. Aubrey is the former public relations manager for Turning Point USA and was part of the mass termination group that was fired in January of 2026. She worked for the ATK company, which is Andrew Kolvet's private business that contracts out with Turning Point USA. She had been with Turning Point USA since 2021. She stated, quote, I wanted to work hard for both Andrew and Charlie, for my coworkers, and for the Lord. I really believed in the mission of Turning Point and what we were doing, end quote. Aubrey was pulled into a meeting with Andrew Kolvet and Marina Minez, the CMO of TPUSA, and was told she was fired, reason being a totally bogus Uber story that sounds completely made up of her. These next statements from Aubrey and others like them from ex-Turning Point employees are another one of the main reasons I'm writing this letter today. Quote, I just have a gut feeling that I was terminated from Turning Point because I am questioning the narrative of what happened to my role model and CEO, Charlie Kirk, on the day of his assassination. What is being told to us in the mainstream media just doesn't add up to me. And I'm really hopeful that one day it will. But as it stands right now, it just doesn't. As an American citizen, I have the right to my freedom of speech and my freedom of thought, and I have a lot of concerns and a lot of questions about what took that day and the events leading up to that day. She goes on to say, it is from my own experience that you can't question the narrative and work at Turning Point. That is how I feel, that is how other people I've talked to feel, and it goes against everything that Charlie ever stood for. Charlie was someone who did question things, who did challenge the narrative. I'm not going to just idly sit by and hope the truth comes to light. I'm going to take action. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to talk to other people, and I refuse to apologize for having my own freedom of thought, which is something that Charlie ingrained in me and so many other young people. All of these people who have been terminated were the most hardworking, honest employees that Turning Point has ever had. I'm doing this for them, and I'm doing this for friends who I consider family who are still there. It literally breaks my heart to make this video, but I know that I owe it to Charlie and that this would be the expectation for me. And so that's why I'm doing it. Everything's for Charlie, end quote. I encourage anyone who is reading this to watch her video in its entirety through an unbiased lens.
I want to say I appreciate that young man for speaking on that, because I think it's important for Erica Kirk and the other idiots at Turning Point USA to see how much of a spectacle they have made with Charlie Kirk's company. And one last thing I want to say, I'm going to do another video about this, but do y'all think Charlie Kirk is still alive? Yes or no in the chat. Say yes or no in the chat. Do you think Charlie Kirk is still alive? Let's have a quick conversation about that. Yes or no in the chat. Do you think Charlie Kirk is still alive? I need to spam the chat. Yes or no. Spam the chat. Yes or no.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. What? Everybody hit the like button.
Okay. So I think we're like half and half with yeses and nos. Half and half. Okay. So earlier, I had the belief that Charlie Kirk was still alive. And after all of this time, I don't think Charlie Kirk is still alive. And this is the reason why. There's no way in this world Charlie Kirk would just allow his company, his baby. When you start a business, your business is like your child. And there's no way in this world Charlie Kirk would just sit around being okay with his company looking so stupid and dumb. Look at this.
Called so many names. I
just want y'all to think about how stupid his company looks, how stupid his wife looks. I don't think Charlie Kirk, if he was alive, he would just sit around and allow his wife to look like an idiot like this. He would hone her in. He'll tell her like, yo, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? He would tell her to step down, because Charlie Kirk seemed like a very intelligent person. Why in the world would he just sit back and just have this stupid ass woman like ruin his entire legacy like this? Just look at this.
genuinely don't care.
You actually think this dumbass woman still has a husband? I'm just saying.
I get called so many names. I genuinely don't care.
There's no way Charlie Kirk is still alive and sitting back watching all of us make fun of this idiot. Because if my wife was an idiot, I would hide her.
When you kiss the bloody dead body of the person that you love.
When you kiss the bloody dead body of the one you love.
Protect us.
I'm not. If my wife was an idiot and I married her because she got a fat ass or she's pretty because she's this or what, I would hide her. I'm not gonna allow my dumb ass wife. If my wife is dumb, not saying wives are dumb, but she's dumb. And if my wife is dumb, I would reel her in and hide her because I'm embarrassing myself because I married this woman. I would hide her. Who in the world would just be married to this dumbass woman and just be okay with her representing me? Representing my company that I spent all these years building for her to ruin it. It wouldn't make any sense.
Unable to understand, really.
And of course, all women aren't dumb. She is dumb. Erica Kirk is an idiot. I'm not saying women are. Erica Kirk herself is an idiot. And if I married an idiot, I would hide the idiot that I married.
If I told you
Listen,
Erika Kirk was under the influence of some kind of brainwashing or menticide or some type of MK like hypnosis or mind control or drug application. If I told you she was in some kind of a trance, something almost zombified, what would you say? What would you truly say? You'd say, I knew it. Because she looks like it. When Charles Manson came out and gave you that look.
he said when Charles Manson came out and gave you that look, they're literally comparing Erica Kirk to Charles Manson. You actually think Charlie Kirk is alive sitting back and looking at this? No.
And people said he's crazy. Why? Because of his eyes. Do you think through the course of human as well, human evolution, when people look like this, from Dracula, from horror movies, from our...
Can you imagine being married to this woman and y'all sitting at the dinner table and she's mad at you? We've all had our girlfriends or wives mad at us. Can you imagine if your wife is mad at you and y'all are sitting at the dinner table and she gives you this look?
From horror movies, from our anecdotal understanding of what somebody under the influence of something, whether it's mental illness or hypnotic, whatever.
Like, especially with this on, she goes in the bedroom and puts on this hat and she just sits and she's just sitting at a table looking at you like this. This is your wife and she's mad at you and this is a look she gives you. I would divorce her ass. Like, I wouldn't even know what to do with this. Like, why are you looking at me like this? I couldn't deal with this. I could not deal with my woman or my wife mad at me and she looks at me like this. No way in hell. This is absolute crazy. This is craziness.
Politics and mind control collide with tragedy and conspiracy, where people are more susceptible, where some people who happen to have connections with organized intel.
So this is the reason why I don't think Charlie Kirk is alive. Because he would have pulled her to the side and would have been like, well, yo, what the hell are you doing? I can't be seen out here. I faked my death. But what are you doing? And she would either go in hiding and deal with their non-existent kids, or he would have coached her and said, okay, I need you to snap out of it. Why are you acting like this? One of the two. So she, and how stupid she is making Turning Point USA, there's no way in this world he would still be alive. And my last point. If he needed to get rid of Turning Point USA, instead of faking his death, he would have just sold the company. He would have just sold the company and just went on about his business. He wouldn't have had to fake his death. He would have just sold the company to somebody else. He would have sold the company to IHOP and let them do whatever they want to do at IHOP. He wouldn't have allowed this idiot to just ruin the company. And I don't see that happening. So with what I just said, do you agree or do you disagree? Do you agree or do you disagree? Do you think Charlie Kirk could actually still be alive and watch this idiot ruin his company? Yes or no? I don't think he could do it. I don't think he could do it. I would have just jumped out and said, all right, I'm tired. Okay, I'm still alive. Let me take back over. Let me take my company back over. Let me pay a fine for faking my death. I can't deal with this.
I get called so many names. I genuinely don't care.
Oh, yo, is this real? Stop. She looks like the Undertaker. Like, she looks like the biggest idiot on the planet right now, y'all. Ain't no way this is real. Oh my God. I'm shaking in my boots.
When you kiss the bloody dead body of the person that you love.
Who says that? When you kiss the bloody dead body of someone you love? She sounds like a damn vampire or some shit. Like, who says this shit?
When you kiss the bloody dead body of the person that you love.
We said our prayer and we asked the Lord to protect us. To the students, unable to understand, really.
If I told you that Erika Kirk was under the influence of some kind of brainwashing or
there's no one in hell Charlie Kirk is still alive and just be okay with this lunatic run around ruining his legacy. I can't see it. I can't see it. But thank y'all for being here. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. And for those of you who are on my other YouTube channel, which is Mr. Let Go 2.0, make sure to subscribe to my main channel, which is Mr. Let Go. And get your card games. Get your card games. And I hope I was able to give y'all clarity to the people that don't necessarily get along with their mothers. This card game was made for women who don't get along with their mothers. So thank y'all for being here. And thank you to the 7 people that bought card games. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all. But if you have not got your card game, get your card game. Mother's Day is 3 days away. Get your card game, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. What? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. If you got something to say, drop it in the comment. Don't be acting afraid. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city. What? Drop your city in the chat. What? Drop your city. What? Drop your city in the chat. Drop your city in the chat.
Blessed me and my mother with one of these decks. And I was asking her the questions while we were heading to the airport, and she was asking questions. And I like that there is something in there that really helps you to identify, how do you feel?
How do you feel?
How do you express this? What word could I use? Or et cetera, et cetera. And I don't want to get too much into it because I really think that you guys should check this out. Even in the half hour that we were asking these questions, it created such deeper discussions. I actually remember there was one question, and it was something along the lines of, did my mom ever experience grief that would have allowed her not to be as attentive? And then we started talking about, and that led to like a really cool conversation. And so it was good. And I like it because we were giggling in the car, like talking about these different stories, stuff around Christmas time. Oh, do you remember this? And it just allowed us to be very nostalgic and really take that road down memory lane. So that was, this game is really cool. So I definitely appreciate it. Guys, we're going to connect the link below if you're interested in getting the mother-daughter card game. It's literally like therapy in a box. You get to ask all the questions that you may not have even known that you need to ask, or the conversation you didn't know you needed to have. So,
and the coolest part of this particular card game is, in your situation, your mom lives somewhere else. There's a mother deck and there's a daughter deck. So she was able to bring the mother deck home with her, and you kept the daughter deck. So now y'all can play over the phone or online, right? So you can buy this card game, pull out mom's card game, and ship it to her if she lives in another state.